Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a bit of an idea that I've been playing with in my head. Obviously, I have no effect on what AEW does in the long run, but I was wondering if the game having, or each faction in the game having a staple stratagem across all the detachments, if that would make things better or worse. For example, we all know when we're going into any flavor of Marine, they will have Arm of Contempt and they will have Oath of Moment. And I think that's why you get such an interesting spread for Space Marines. They'll look at their win rate and go, oh man, we're 40, why won't GW do anything? And then the second something happens, it's like, oh man, there's nothing but every flavor of Marine running rampant right now because something like Oath of Moment got buffed. Now, what does that have to do with stratagems? Well, I think the fact that, for the most part, a lot of Marine detachments are reduced to 5 stratagems, outside of Arm of Contempt, of course. I say most because I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting one in which it's going to be like, yeah, did you forget that in Space Wolves, Champions of Lycanthrope or something? It's going to be like, yeah, they don't have an armor contempt. Something that I know I'm probably forgetting. But anyway, I think this standard deviation of a signature strat does help the game in a balance standpoint because you know that whatever it is, it will be consistent amongst all of the detachments, and if all goes wrong, a detachment can still lean on something that is hopefully good. Now, I know this comes at an odd time to talk about this, given that Armor of Contempt has been nerfed this edition, into which it is until the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, instead of until the end of the phase. I'm still salty about that hitting Reinforced Hive node and Synaptic Nexus, but hey, neither here nor there. But with not only an army rule that of course applies to every detachment, would every detachment having a signature stratagem be good? And what would that look like? So, my pitch for this in Tyrannage is 5 up, feel no pain. Well, rapid regeneration, I should say more specifically. Because unfortunately, this is what everything tends to be balanced around after looking at Invasion Fleet again. Not only is it, well, do I need sustained or do I need lethals? I guess I'm going Invasion Fleet. But also, whenever you hear people that have gone against Tyrannage, it's a very, oh, you all are fine. Yeah, making a Exocrine a 5 feel no pain, that doesn't make me feel good. Make it to Tyrannifex a 5 of feel no pain doesn't make me feel good. And it's like, okay, but what outside of Invasion Fleet have you been annoyed by? Um, um, good point. Like, I don't love that. So if you just instill that, not to say, of course, I have the philosophy of why don't you just buff everything instead of focusing on nerfing everything. I try to keep up with quite a few game systems. For those of you that have seen my channel for a while, you probably know this. But I try to keep up with things, and it's interesting to see that Apex is having that realization that I've been screaming from the top of my lungs for a while, that you shouldn't actively be looking to nerf a thing. Every time something's doing kind of well, you shouldn't be looking to nerf something. You don't want to look for ways to make a game worse. You want to make you want to look for ways to make a game better. I.e., how about, oh, this thing is getting used consistently. Does this need to come down, or do all the things around it need to go up? So everything needs to go around to go up, because as you can see, the games in general get kind of fucking boring when you just constantly nerf everything that tends to step out of the box. So, if the only thing that somebody can be annoyed by consistently out of the Tyrannix Codex is Exocrines and Five of Feel No Pain, let's see what all of the detachments look like when that's not a special snowflake for Invasion Fleet. You know what I mean? Like, I also still hold the belief that the detachment rule here should have been the army rule, but that's a different discussion. But if you can make a squad of Tyrannid warriors with Wing Tyrannid Prime, have a 5-up Invuln and then a 5-up Feel No Pain, would I, as somebody that doesn't value that's point expenditure, be higher up on it? And I think I would be, because as quite a few comments that I've seen on my videos and other people's videos always does point out, is it feels fucking bad when you write a list and you go, damn, this would probably just be better in Invasion Fleet because I could keep my shit alive. This would probably just be better in Invasion Fleet. And you go, well, yeah, maybe they just need to buff up the durability of all of your units across the board. Even if you do that, this is where we go to the other hand of buffing everything. If you do that, the thing that's good will still be good, right? Like if you take my Norns that, I've been wondering why they're not T12 this entire edition, but if you finally make them T12, well, they already have a 5 of Feel No Pain, so terrible example. If you buff up my Screamer Killer, let's go with Screamer Killer, or Haruspex, two that people don't really love too much, but if a Screamer Killer goes to T10 and a Haruspex goes to T12, would either of those having access to a 5-up Feel No Pain mean that we're seeing in more detachments? Probably. If you just stop at just buffing them at their, toughness breakpoint, they probably only come back to Invasion Fleet if you don't give the 5-up Feel No Pain on top of that. Now, the Haruspex, of course, is a different situation where it is a Harvester, so it does have more play in Assimilation Swarm. But first things first, you can't necessarily just buff up a data sheet and not expect it to be better in a detachment in which you can buff that up further, right? So that's the unique thing about balance that I feel could have been avoided or could be avoided. That's just my opinion. I would love to hear what you think about giving detachments an Armor of Contempt, a signature stratagem that no matter what detachment you're playing, you have access to. And now, the more probable development of this, if this were to happen, would be that yes, all army detachments have 5 unique stratagems. But I would like to just say it is possible that you could still have 6 stratagems and then your signature stratagem. Like maybe it's not a detachment stratagem thing. Maybe it's an army rule stratagem kind of situation where it's just like, yeah, if you're playing Tyrannids, you get Synapse and access to this one stratagem for 1 CP. Much like how you have core stratagems that, well, we don't get those in Tyranids, but shit like that. We get a couple of them. That's just me being an ass. We get go to ground, but I would like Tank Shock in a way. Something like that, right? Outside of just Crusher Stampede. So, what if that? And that's just me talking on one that I know a little bit more about than others. Not other people, than other detachments. You get it. You get it by now. Going on. Astra Militarum. Learning the game, it was kind of interesting to learn that not every Astra Militarum detachment would receive reinforcements, right? Um, that's one where it's like, that feels like the guard is expendable, and you win through numbers. So it just seems like it would make sense for all of the detachments to have reinforcements. That's not the case, but this is my pitch for something like Guard. Would Guard, I know Guard is already doing fine right now, doing pretty good actually, but would guard be more consistent throughout the entire edition, instead of, recency bias? If it had reinforcements, well, okay, you also have to release detachments before fucking the last few months of the edition, right? So you have to work on that part too. But would reinforcements across the board be busted? It's still 2 CP, but it is, yeah, I get it's GSC. It is GSC. But hey, who told them to do that with GSC's army rule? I don't know. Eldari, I would assume that either Phantasm, Fire and Fade, or Lightning Fast reactions would be the stratagem across the board. And I think more than likely Fire and Fade, because that's again the one that you always hear about. I'm thinking about the strats that you always hear about no matter what detachments you're actually playing. Somebody goes, damn, I really hate Eldari. Fire and Fade is an ass. Damn, I really hate Tyrannage. Rapid regeneration is terrible. Damn, I hate going against guard. Reinforcements is annoying. Damn, Armor of Contempt has been a problem for me. I'm thinking about it in that sense. So, Eldari, I'm assuming Fire and Fade. And then for CSM, I know that people would probably expect me to put unflailingly obdulate, whatever. The -1 AP, just like Armor of Contempt. But it'd be nice if there was a little bit more flavor that on the other side you had something that you improved AP as a direct counter to Space Marines instead of, yeah, you're Space Marines, but spiky. I don't know, I think that would just be a neat idea. So, overall, the video is, what do you think about each army having a unique stratagem, I guess, for the army role? Not necessarily per detachment, just a unique army-wide stratagem you can pop in no matter what detachment you're using. Uh, those were just the ones that I could quickly come up with. If you have better shouts for something like Kareen and Orcs, that'd be fun, but like, hella situational. But something along those lines. I'd like to hear your ideas, your thoughts on this type of opinion. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.